So good morning, and today we have another spring session workshop with our fabulous Mab, who's with us to talk to us about Academy Stars, and she's got several topics within that she's going to be highlighting and looking at practical activities for, which is going to be great. So there isn't much from me to say other than a very good morning to everyone who is joining us, and I will pass over to you, Mab, and I will collect questions if there are any in the chat box. I think you also have the chat box open as well, so you can answer them if you wish. But if there's any big ones, we can answer them together at the end. The session should take almost an hour, and then we'll do some questions at the end. Mab, over to you.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy that you're able to join me for our Academy Stars tour today, where we will be covering a lot of aspects during the session. And like promised, we will talk about creativity, compassion, confidence, and how to guide our students into becoming learner superstars. For Academy Stars today, we will be joined by teachers who are already using the course and teachers who are looking forward to using it for next year. So I would like again to welcome everyone. And as you can see on the screen in front of you, the slide shows the levels of Academy Stars, and it's a course for primary, and you can see that it's made of 6 levels. And by the way, there's also a starter level if you like to, for example, see it or go through it if you feel that you need it before grade 1. Academy Stars helps in scaffolding academic excellence while building the communicative, compassionate, competent learner. And also it helps to build the inspiring, capable and influential teacher. So in a classroom, actually, a classroom is made of students and teachers together. A learning process won't happen unless you have your teachers. And unless those teachers are confident themselves and capable, they won't be able to inspire students to move into another new, more developed level. We all know that because we all have been in classrooms, and so Nathan, I think I'm having a bit of a difficult. Yes, no, I'm not. So moving to the next slide. We talk about creating the confident learner. So again, creativity, compassion, and confidence, you can look at them as one leading to the other. From any angle you use them, you have to connect them to each other. And so building confidence in learners of any age helps them to trust their teacher and trust themselves. And so if we look at building language awareness and scaffolding mental strategies, this is how we actually make and create an atmosphere inside the classroom for our learners to be comfortable and to be confident of all the strategies that the teacher is showing inside the classroom for them to use continuously, day in, day out. This in turn allows students to accept learning new strategies and holding on to them if they feel that they are confident about using them. And so again, we want to build language awareness, we want to scaffold mental strategies, and we want to secure social and emotional support, because at the end of the day, they are little human beings who are growing up, okay? And so whatever you put there, it's going to grow with them. Human beings socialize, human beings have emotions, and so it's our jobs also as teachers to support them in this aspect. Inside the classroom, the most important thing is that everyone is having fun and enjoying the English lesson. It's a basic integral part of better communication, creating better communication between teacher and pupils, where the teacher can model behavior that will lead to better learning. This relationship will be in turn, the relationship is going to mainly start from the teacher's side. So the teacher has to model the best human behavior inside the classroom to create the best human relationship inside the classroom. And this will help enhance both social and emotional behavior, whether inside the school or outside in the society. Before we move into this slide, I would like to ask you if you have any comments, if you feel like you need to add to anything that I have just mentioned. Do you feel that it's important that you support your students from all of those sides and angles? Would you like to say anything? We have people from Doha. Good morning, or is it good afternoon? Yeah, midday. Okay, so what makes a creative teacher? What does make a creative teacher? What do you think? Definitely motivation, thank you, is the key to student engagement. Thank you. We will talk about that. So for you, different teaching methods, definitely. Create creative teachers, untraditional, reflective, yes. Using new methods. I totally agree, Manar. Students need to feel secure to be creative. Okay, so supporting the creative teacher. A teacher always likes easy navigation. So for teachers, this is most important. As we all know, teachers always look for a resource that provides clear objectives and makes use of age-appropriate skills to reach those objectives. So what are your objectives as English teachers before we talk about navigation or navigating the books? What are your objectives as English teachers in the classroom? Inspiration. I like it. Ali, thank you. Anyone? Objectives? Creativity? Okay, to create creativity. Any other objectives? Aversion to language, confidence, definitely. Hands-on learning, hands-on activities, yes. Okay, so teachers like to also, in addition to having the resource that helps them to reach their objectives easily, they also like to have evaluation methods. And so for teachers, trusted evaluation is very, very important. It's a huge part of teaching. Evaluation is really a huge part of teaching, and it takes a lot of teachers' time. We evaluate our pupils in order for us to take them to the next level comfortably. So we're comfortable about, and we're absolutely sure that we can take them to the next level. They're comfortable that they have learned all the things that they need to learn in that certain level. And we've got parents also who we want to feel comfortable with us educating their children in the through the proper standards for their ages. With Academy Stars, it's not only that the teacher is provided with different already made tests and worksheets, all the material, but also the teacher can trust that it was all put together by the experts who put the actual material of the book following the CEFR standards and the Cambridge English Young Learners exams. So when your pupils complete a level, you are sure that they have covered all requirements needed for their particular age group in learning English. And by sharing this with parents again, they will also be welcomed to the circle of trust with Academy Stars, if I may use this expression, circle of trust in Academy Stars by students, teachers, and parents. And so, what are the tools to create a confident learner? To create a confident learner who trusts the material between their hands, Academy Stars creators started with tackling the visual aspect. So I would like to ask you a question now. What is the importance of the visual aspect? What do you think this is important for? As teachers, what do you notice? when a book is visually makes students visual aspect, yes, stimulate imagination. Thank you. Many learners are visual learners who learn easily with colors and pictures. Thank you, Asil. Definitely helps the visual learner to comprehend. Thank you, Rivati. Oh, am I pronouncing it correctly? These days we're dealing with visual minds, so I think it is important, definitely it is, to make it really attractive. Yes. Yeah, they can make sure that they understood things. Thank you. And so yes, I totally agree, and you've got it right. And as you can see in the slide, it shows that each level has a different color. We're motivating students to look forward to the next level that has another color. Probably they have brothers, sisters who are using the same series. They have cousins maybe in the same school, and so if they're older than them, they'll be looking forward to moving to the next colorful book with the cover, with the yellow cover, with the green cover. And so unified color coding for each level makes the learner feel comfortable and look forward to moving to the color for next year, giving the indication of growth while transferring from one color to the next. Now, the second thing that you're seeing in the slide is the clear and regular signposting. For those who use Academy Stars, you must be really familiar with this, because regularly you will see it in the units, all of the units. And so this is to help create a familiar learning space, adding only new content. So this as a frame stays the same every unit, but the content inside changes, and so the learner feels in control, of the frame, and they're working about the content that is inside, which is regularly adding to their language information. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So for those teachers who are currently using Academy Stars, can you please remind all of us of the fixed titles that are that appear in the book, and the ones that I actually call the pillars of the book, that make it different from other books? Yes, thank you. Yes, Ella. Yes, Ruba. Creating the self-learner. Thank you, Reem. What else? Thank you. So let's move to talking about the star. So let me ask you, Ruba and Reem, how's your experience with Be a Star inside the classroom? What can you share with us? Okay, so you're getting there, and so mainly, Reem, you know what the objectives are for Be a Star, right? So if anyone likes to speak, just put yes in the chat. Okay, go ahead, Reem.
Give me a second, I'm just finding her. Here we go. It'll take a second. Reem, yeah, you should be on.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Ma'ab. Thank you, everyone. Actually, I love the idea about having our students as the stars. If you remember, there was the technique of putting the small ticks next to their names and if they're improving. And the teachers have actually even took it one level further, as they have very small gifts after, let's say, 1 week for the start of the week. And this even emphasized the idea more. It made it more, let's say, materialistic for the kids. And the self-learner is also another thing that we started implementing after we started with Academy Star. This is my favorite part. However, what I mean by we need to emphasize it more is that, as I remember from the training, being a star applies to everyone. It also applies to the teachers. It applies to us as administrators and to the students. So we're still getting there as administrators and teachers. I think it's a little bit easier with the students. However, they are the emphasis of this whole process. So inshallah, this is our first year with Academy Star. So inshallah, we'll get there soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Reem.
Yeah, thank you, Reem. I think Ruba also wants to say something, so I'm going to turn her on now as well. One moment.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ruba.
She's on mute. Hang on a second.
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Actually, my experience with Academy Stars was really, really interesting and useful for me and for the kids as well. We talked about the visual resources. It really makes the experience interesting and attractive for them. I'm teaching first graders now, so especially the stories, the reading part, they always like them very much, and actually it makes it more easy for them each time. So yeah, I like the visual parts in this curriculum and find it really useful for me and for the kids as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ruba. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. So from teachers' experiences, we've just heard that Be a Star is the part that really pushes the pupils to interact and work and show, actually present their work inside the classroom. This is what it's mainly about, being a star. So you will find in this section that sometimes it's individual work, sometimes it's pair work, sometimes it's group work, but the main objective is for the pupils to work and show their creativity, and so we're pushing them to communicate in English, to use the language, and you will see that after just a little bit of time, because they keep on doing things on their own, and like we're going to talk about later, which is creating the independent learner, that they actually will have more confidence in the learning process. And so what we want to do with Be a Star is improve their acquisition and practice of the English language. It helps to improve pupils' abilities to think on their own, to pair and share, like I said. You can see on the screen also there's learning about the language. Learning about the language emphasizes details that pupils need to pay attention to while learning to use the language. You will see learning about the language in grade 1 especially, because they're still very young, and basically with both learning about language and learning to learn, what we're doing with the children or the learners, that we're trying to make them experiment about the language. And so in order for them, like it's like they try, and when they succeed, they'll find out that this is a strategy that they can use later on. If you'll just excuse me for a minute, I need to use the charger so you won't lose me. Sorry about that. Okay, and so you can see that going back to learning to learn, it says here pupils learn valuable strategies that will help them develop into autonomous learners for life. So what is autonomous? What do we mean by autonomous? Can you write it in the chat box, please? Definitely, definitely. Thank you very much. So it's the independent learner. Oh, yes, Nathan. Yeah, I need to move on. Yes. And so the independent learner, exactly. And so this is one of the objectives. As for values, pupils learn respect as the most significant part of the united civil language of all humanity. With values, we want to concentrate on the importance of practicing respect towards others in all aspects of life, in addition to showing respect to the environment. And so creating the human being who actually understands the importance of proper behavior. Creating the motivated child to reach the independent learner. So in general, a motivated learner, like you shared also, is an aware learner. And so this is what we want. This is our aim. This also applies to the language learner. So if you're learning anything in life, you need to be motivated in order for you to enjoy it and to remember it later on. And so at any age, this is applicable. And for language learners, this they start to pay more attention to patterns and dedicating time to, willingly and happily to find out more about the language they're being exposed to. And motivation in Academy Stars comes from the layout and the drawings and the interactive work throughout all the levels. This is the well-sculptured unit content that is age appropriate and relevant for child learner growth. Now, from your classrooms, how do you find that certain topics or for units or titles really make it a better learning atmosphere. And so what do you find that pupils really like to, let's say, work together on a certain topic that makes them work together on? So what are the topics that you might find that are very interesting? For students? Of course, you can see again, there is color coding. And so maybe I wasn't really clear on that. I meant to say that, do you find that they actually work better when they have a topic that is related to a certain aspect in their lives? Because with Academy Stars, it's all about the environment, all about topics about the world around them, about issues around them. Let's move to the next slide and talk about the autonomous learner, and going beyond the 4 C's. So the autonomous learner, what kind of activities in Academy Stars, for those who are using Academy Stars, what kind of activities can you point to that really create the autonomous learner? And we have mentioned, you've just mentioned some of them. Oh yes, thank you, Dareen. Students really love the...
Yes. While people are writing in the chat box, I actually want to just jump in, because I want to make sure that people are aware of the difference between independence and autonomous, because I think there is a difference between independence and autonomous. People have been putting independent on their own. So independence is the ability to be able to do something by yourself, right? I'm independent. I can do this task without somebody helping me, whether that's a peer or a teacher or a parent. That's the ability to be independent. Autonomy is about being able to make a choice and justify why you've made that choice. It's about free will. It's self-determination. It's that kind of theory. So if you're a teacher, you say, okay, we are going to have 3 different activities. You can choose which one you want, but I want to know why you've chosen. So are you going to choose to do arts and crafts, or are you going to choose to do writing, or are you going to choose to do the reading corner? And then them saying, I'm choosing this because I'm interested in, I've got an idea and I want to paint a picture based on the topic that we're doing. Yeah, that's being autonomous in terms of choosing what it is you want to do. So I just want to make sure that people are aware of the difference between independence. Independence is just completing the task by yourself. Autonomy is being able to justify your choices, I think, as students.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, so as you can see, activities that naturally provide motivation and the development of key academic skills are integrated throughout the course. Also, learning to learn and learning about language features help children identify patterns and acquire strategies, making them more effective and independent learners. And again, I second what Nathan said, that you give them a choice. By the way, you're also, if I may say, Nathan, that you're, as a teacher, you're also catering for their own individual differences when learning, if you give them a choice, and creating the confidence that we need to see in learners. Self-evaluation activities in the workbook encourage children to identify their learning strengths and promote self-motivation. The next slide is full of the icons that you will normally see with Academy Stars, and they are the Me icon for children, where children are encouraged to accept responsibility and reflect on the consequences of lifestyle choices. This is where they try on their own, and the Act, by identifying the consequences of their actions, children learn values and develop social emotional understanding. Think, students develop critical thinking. And Learn, where children foster learner autonomy and demonstrate learning strategies. Communicate, the promotion of interpersonal and collaborative skills, allows children to express opinions and ideas. All of this you will see beside the practice, the tasks that they need to work on. The next slide, I will show you an example of a series that at the beginning of the 80s was released, and it was called Storyteller, to make reading fun for children. And you can see here the old style cassette on the right side of the slide. Here the child looks at a book full of stories and listens to those stories through the cassette. The editors wrote, Storyteller will bring stories to your children in any way by in a new way, by combining the values of a book with the excitement of a sound recording. Whether your children are old enough to read and learn from the book, or simply ready to listen and follow the pictures, Storyteller will provide a wonderful and a lasting collection for all to enjoy. How can you relate this to Academy Stars? What is something that is really very, very similar in Academy Stars? Come on, teachers. Teachers who are using Academy Stars. Anything in Academy Stars that's similar to this? Any aspect? No? Talk, okay, what else? There's something that's really very similar and with same benefits, if not more. Oh, okay, go ahead, talk, Manhar. Reading, okay. Which part? Manar, go ahead. Do you want to say something?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, so I'm talking about the part, the audio that we have before every text at the very beginning of the unit, so that students can listen to the text, and which is really interesting. And what is more, that is something really special about Academy Star, language in use. In this part, we're gonna have audio, and what is more, a dialogue, which is a video between two people who are gonna speak to each other, which is really interesting. You're not just going to listen to some people who are speaking, or you're not just listening to the text or the conversation that you have in front of you, but you're gonna watch it, which is really interesting. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Manar.
You're
Lovely.
welcome.
And so, yes, exactly. There are so many parts in the book that will encourage students, like I said, to use the language and talk. But how about this part? How about the part where it says reading time, and you have reading time after every couple of units in the book? And so with reading time, you're actually showing them the text, they're listening to it, and so this makes the important link between visual and auditory. And so careful listening is a valuable lifelong skill. It helps us learn the language, integrate stories from our past, succeed in school and the workplace. And so you're always relating things together. Starting from a very early age, listening is a key skill. Those who listen carefully, they actually develop their language skills even. And it helps children to learn to read and become better readers. And so they're looking at the words, they eventually start recognizing them, and even improves their spelling and definitely pronunciation. Understanding the connection between listening and reading is critical in supporting literacy. And so moving on to creativity. So we're actually reading, we're listening, we're connecting things. And so here comes the creativity part, which is here. I think I need to ask you those questions on the slide. It says think and answer. Is the wolf good or bad, and why? So what do you think? How do you think your children will respond? This is from grade 1, by the way. But if we're going to ask this question to children, what do you think their reply would be in regards of the story that we all know, Little Red Riding Hood? So Islam, yes, I expect them to say bad. Yeah, yeah, they'll say bad, yes, I'm sure. And so what did they rely on when they said bad? What do you think they relied on? Past experience, thank you. The visual could be. The story that they already know, the harm he inflicts on others. Yes, thank you. Okay, that's really, I have some really nice answers. And so I need you to have a look at the next task, which is really, it's different. It needs critical thinking. Now the wolf is good, and they can see the picture. The wolf is actually playing with Little Red Riding Hood. He's sharing toys with Little Red Riding Hood. And so think, draw, and write. So you're pushing them to think and write their own, draw their own picture, and write something about it underneath. And so creativity. We want them to be creative. And it says below, now the wolf is good. The toys are in the box. And so can people change? This is the question. Critical thinking. Wolf is not a human being, but then again, it's a story. And so we're applying it to real life. Can we change? If someone is bad and then is treated, in a nice way, can this change the attitude? Let's see. You make them watch the video, and after they watch the video, this is what they'll see. Those are pictures from the video where the wolf is kicked out at the end. But the nice thing about this is that they all say goodbye, goodbye, big bad wolf. And so we're teaching children values that no matter what, if you're good to someone, you will teach them to be good too. The other slide talks about learning about language. So learning about language, remember we wanted the independent learner. So this really speaks for itself. It's the fact that they can, learning about language says here, for example, add to most words to make them plural. And so they will try on their own, and they will discover that they can do it, they can practice. And so we're kind of playing with the language here. We're trying to find out how it happens. Okay, and so let's have a look at this slide that talks about the review. It's actually a slide, those pictures that you see in front of you, they're from the review exercises. And so how would you use this inside the classroom? How would you, what would you ask your student, what would you ask the learners? What questions? Okay, so you can see that the learners are asked to listen and write a name or a number. Okay, and so this is what they do. They first of all listen, and then it's a review of all of the concepts that they were exposed to in the unit. And this follows, by the way, the Cambridge English Young Learners test style activity. These help prepare for the reading and writing paper and the listening paper. You can use it in so many ways. You can even use it for them to identify different vocabulary items by pointing at the pictures themselves. Again, visually very interesting. Learning to learn, like we said, you notice here that it says write words in groups to help you remember them. Can you add one word to each group? And so it's really fun to work with. Write a color, another school item, and a member of the family. And so it's like them playing a game. How about compassion? And so what is compassion? Can you tell me what compassion is? Please write it in the chat box. Do you think compassion can be taught in schools, just like other subjects? Do you think it's necessary? And why? Do you think it's more important through actions and role playing. Thank you very much. We can teach compassion, definitely. And so to love, and it's important to stop bullying. Yes, as it stops bullying. Yeah. And so is it more important to teachers, or is it more important to students? To both, actually, to both. And why is it important to teachers? Why do we need compassionate teachers? To understand and help the weaker students, that's one point, and it's a good one. Thank you. Thank you very much. Not leave them behind. Thank you, Asil. Yes. What else? Okay, so for the sake of time, a compassionate teacher. Yes, exactly, Reem. Yes, this is exactly what I was about to say, to create a role model. What we want to do inside the classroom is to create role models for the learners to follow. Compassionate teachers produce good students. Thank you, Nawal. Yes, exactly. And so how exactly does Academy Stars develop this compassion and the positive learning environment overall? Let's have a look. Sorry. Okay, so first of all, Academy Stars focuses on values, and you can see here that I have a couple of examples. One of them says, when do we say please and thank you? And the other one, how can we look after nature? So please and thank you. You might find that children don't use them that much, and so this is how we want to this is what we want to do, actually, to emphasize using this inside the classroom. And basically we want you as teachers to use them. Remember, creating a role model. And looking after nature creates the interest in the whole globe, creating the global citizenship. Now, the next slide, the one that you can see, is about, is actually from grades 3 and 4. One is a play that is titled Charlie's Homework. The other one is a play that is titled Vicky Helps. Those are examples of creativity put together with compassion. So they're acting out the play, and so you're creating this relationship between the students and broadening their horizons. That compassion is a very, very important aspect of life. Communication. Now, we want our pupils to be able to communicate fluently, and that's the purpose of teaching them English. So we need to expose them to rich, meaningful, contextual language, and give them opportunities to use language in a fun, engaging way. This way is the, in this way we actually move forward. No more concentration on worksheets all the time. Worksheets. And worksheets, what they do is actually they drain the teachers, even though in the system, in the teacher resource center, all of the worksheets are already made for you. And so we want the teacher to feel relaxed, that everything is done for them. But again, we want them to use more practice, more activities. You notice that with Academy Stars, all of the topics, or all of the vocabulary, not the topics, sorry, the vocabulary items, the grammatical structure keeps being recycled. And so what we want you to concentrate on are the skills and using the language, other than just testing pupils all the time. And so the next slide is the think about it. This consists of a practical lesson that focuses on the critical thinking skills. It includes tasks, preparing children to make decisions, like Nathan shared with us, solve problems, and take control of their own learning. Activities that encourage collaborative learning is also on this page. And the third thing is the purpose of the page is to consolidate learning, to give children the opportunity to present their own work. And you can see at the end there, it says be a star. So to make sure that they can do things on their own. The learning to learn is to, you know, we as teachers, what we want to do is to guide less, you know, and make them do more. Sorry, I didn't mean, we want to guide them, but we do not want to do it all the time. So it's not, you know, all lesson time for teacher talking and giving instructions. It's for them to do, to practice. And so preparing pupils with skills, strategies, motivations, to become those learners who are confident and take responsibility for extending their own learning. But always keep in mind that we're teaching them for this year, for them to move on to years to come. So what would you want to put there as a teacher for them to build on? It's your responsibility, our responsibility actually as teachers. And so we want to be very careful, okay, that we want to teach them everything that they will make use of later on. And so it's the connections that they make. What they can work on and do better. And pay attention to the icon again here. So you find the icon again here beside the beside number 3, the exercise, and you can see that it says it is an evaluation exercise. Underline the words that help you understand the new word. Draw a picture of the new word. So ways of evaluating myself as a learner, which are really exciting ways. Motivation. I don't want them to say, I can't do it. What I need them to say is, I can do it. And so the motivation, and is it important? Definitely it is. And like you can see here, there are different pages from the book and the workbook. And so all of this is to practice evaluation. And so evaluation is to motivate actually students that they can move forward freely and with confidence. And so you can read here what I can do, and tick tick all those boxes where you find that you have really, understood what you've explored. How am I doing is another evaluation page, which is from the workbook. Moving on to the, I'm a little bit aware of the time. I need to move faster. This page, I'm sure teachers who are using Academy Stars recognize it very well, because this is a page that is of support to the teachers, and it's full of information. And also they can go back to, you can see here that you've got the test generator with all the tests that are already made for you as teachers, and you just simply choose from them. And then you've got the Teachers Resource Center with all the extra material that you need. And please pay attention whenever it says in the Teachers Resource Center, where whenever it says notes, please be very very mindful to have a look at them, to read them, because they're actually PD guide and support for the course all year round. So you have it all the time, and you can go back to it. And there are loads of support there that you can find. In the Digital Pupils book, you've got icons that you can click on, and you can show them videos and make them listen to conversations. This slide is the games slide, and you can see that we've got, I've chosen 3 different games, but the one which is my favorite is Simon Says. And so you can play so many kinds of games. Yes, Ali, go ahead. Yes, please. Ali?
Yeah, I've asked him to unmute.
Can you hear me now?
I can, Ali.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, thank you for this lovely introduction about the Academy Star curriculum. And I hope that we are in Khalil Rahman Academy all over Jordan, and precisely Aqaba, to have the chance to use such lovely, it seems very lovely curriculum, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You are most welcome, Ali, and thank you for joining us today from Aqaba. And actually, Khalil Rahman Aqaba, they have a special place in my heart. Because and I know I promised you 2 years ago that I will,
yes,
but what can we do? I mean, with the pandemic and everything, I hope inshallah I'll be visiting you very soon. I might be visiting you before Ramadan, so
you are most welcome to join us, ma'am, anytime.
Thank you, Ali.
You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, and so with this, I come to the end of today's session. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope for those of you like Ali, that you will be looking forward to using it and benefiting from it. I know that today's session, I always feel with Academy Stars that there is more to it, a lot more to it, and I can talk 24 hours about it, but unfortunately we only have this 1 hour, and I'm really happy that you were all able to join us in the session. And so I give the mic to you, Nathan, for the next slide.
I'm on. Yeah, my microphone is on. Good. Yeah, so what a wonderful session. Thank you, Mab, again, there's loads of information, lots of activities in there to help people using Academy Stars, or if they're interested in Academy Stars. Yeah, I mean, we looked at some of the things we looked at. Mab, you're going to have to do the clicks for me. So because you're still controlling the thing. So yeah, this session was very much about creating a very positive, very motivating classroom experience and using that as a platform to boost our students' confidence. And as Mab said, mold them into these learning superstars that we want them to become. We want them to be energized. We want them to be passionate. We want them to take control of their own learning. And we want them to see the purpose, what English can do for them, what doors it might open. And that's not just doors in the future, but that's doors now. What can they access by learning English? Is it being able to watch different movies or read different books? All of these types of things are really important to show students, I think. So it's molding them into these learning superstars is very important. And I think you're right, Mab, creating this positive, motivating classroom is important for that. To do that, we looked at several aspects. Mab, if you can click onto the next one. We looked at creativity. So we looked at it from two angles. We looked at it from the teacher's point of view. So how can we get more creative in our approaches? And I think sometimes when we think about creativity, we think that it involves, oh, we need to get them to do arts and crafts. But actually creativity from a teacher's point of view is also about how we can just get creative in terms of them accessing our content. Do I need to present it in a slightly different way? This is this differentiation that Mab was talking about earlier. Do I need them to see a video? I know we had some people come on to talk and they were saying that they love the fact that the story is not just the story in the book. You also have the audio version. You also have the video version. And this is about creativity. It's giving students different ways to see the same content. That's also part of being a creative teacher. We do need to ask ourselves, though, how much effort does it take to be a creative teacher? It's not easy to be creative. It's time consuming, making new materials, adapting materials. So we need to have some kind of balance in terms of how we approach creating the content, using the content, making our lesson plans, how we're going to evaluate them. We also looked at it from the student's point of view, and this is about creativity. How can we get students to be more creative with the language? And it could be giving them options. Would you like to, or actually asking them, how would you like to produce the language? What would you like to do? We've done a story. Would you like to write a letter to the main character? Would you like to act out the story? Would you like to create posters? Almost like, and tap into some of their interests. If you know that they like movies, we know that an attractive part of going to the movies is seeing the advert, right, on TV or the poster for the movie. It's what attracts us to the movie. So use those types of activities. Can you make a poster to sell this particular story, like the Red Riding Hood one? And the other activities you have, Mab, changing the endings, making the wolf good instead of bad. Like you said, gets all those critical thinking skills out, which is really nice. So there's loads of things that we can do to be creative, but without it being a burden on us. We also looked at compassion, and I know Mab touched on this a lot. So yeah, this focus on social and emotional learning. But we've also put that into Academy Stars. You can see those symbols that Mab was talking about, the me symbol, the act symbol, so that you can very clearly signpost the students towards the values and the thinking skills, all these types of things. We looked at communication. And if we want our students to be more fluent, we need to expose them to rich and meaningful contents. And there's loads of stuff that Mab showed us in Academy Stars, the stories, those activities, like the plays you showed us, really nice opportunities for them to use that language in a really nice, meaningful way to them, gives it some context. And the last one we looked at was guiding. So less us doing everything, us having to do everything for the students, and a lot more about getting them to take responsibility for their, for their own learning. So giving them those skills and strategies, and you'll see them in the book. They're there to help you. The learning to learn. Mab, you showed us loads of the learning to learn, and the self-evaluation as well. So use those activities to help the students develop strategies, and then test them later on to see whether or not they can use those strategies by themselves. If they can, then they're developing those skills, becoming autonomous, becoming independent. So that was today. I think lots of people saying thanks, Mab, to you in the chat for all of your inputs. Again, thank you from me. And we hope everybody enjoyed this session. Do connect with us in the MENA PD Academy. If you're not in the Academy yet, just go to, actually, I'll put it in the chat box. Here you go. Go to the website. This is just for teachers in MENA and Jordan. So this is our professional development website, and we have social media pages as well, so you can connect with us. Connect with me on LinkedIn. You can connect with us on Facebook if you're on there. But go to the Academy website and see all of the different types of activities that we have. You can see all of our other activities on there. You can see what other webinars that we're hosting, things like this, and get involved with us. The more we do, the more professional development we do, the better we get in class. Isn't that right, Mab?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much, Mab. From me, do you have anything else you'd like to add at the very end? You can have the final notes.
I would just like to thank everyone for being with us today, and I hope to see you in coming webinars, inshallah.